Life, my dear friends, often feels like navigating a vast, unpredictable ocean. One moment the waters are calm, the sun warm upon our faces, and the next, a sudden squall can whip up, sending towering waves crashing against our vessel. How often do we find ourselves tossed and turned by these metaphorical storms? The sharp word from a loved one, the unexpected setback at work, the seemingly endless stream of disheartening news. Our immediate, often automatic reactions can feel like an instinctual lashing out against the chaos, a desperate attempt to regain control. We might snap back, retreat into ourselves, or allow a surge of anger, fear, or frustration to consume us. This isn't weakness, it's simply the human condition. For decades, we've learned to respond to life's punches with an immediate counterpunch, to meet challenges with an equally forceful emotional retort. But what if there was another way? A way to stand firm amidst the tempest, to observe the rising tide of emotion without being swept away? What if we could cultivate an inner stillness, a profound thoughtfulness that allows us to choose our path, rather than being dragged along by the currents of circumstance? This isn't a passive surrender to fate, but an active, empowering embrace of our own inner strength. It's about finding the anchor within, regardless of how turbulent the waters outside may become. Welcome, fellow travelers, on this journey of life. Many of us, particularly as we've gathered more seasons of wisdom, have come to understand that true strength isn't found in reacting to every external stimulus with equal force. Rather, it resides in the quiet power of our minds, in our capacity to pause, to reflect, and to choose a deliberate response. We've weathered countless personal storms, learned invaluable lessons, and gained perspectives that only time can bestow. Yet, even with this wealth of experience, the modern world constantly bombards us, testing our patience, challenging our resilience, and often provoking immediate, unexamined reactions. Today, we embark on a profound exploration, guided by the enduring wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy born thousands of years ago, yet remarkably relevant to the challenges we face in our contemporary lives. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent, quite the opposite. It's about understanding the nature of our emotions, mastering our internal world, and cultivating a profound sense of inner peace and tranquility, no matter what external events unfold. It offers us practical tools and timeless insights to navigate the complexities of existence with grace, wisdom, and an unwavering spirit. This journey is about transforming how we engage with life itself, moving from a state of being tossed by every wave to becoming the calm, unwavering lighthouse, guiding ourselves and those around us. If you're seeking to fortify your mind, to find greater serenity in a chaotic world, and to unlock a deeper, more enduring happiness, then you've found a valuable companion in the Stoic Philosophy channel. We're dedicated to bringing you timeless wisdom that empowers your mind, fosters profound peace, and guides you toward a more fulfilling existence. I encourage you to subscribe to our channel now so you don't miss our upcoming videos, which will continue to provide the tools and perspectives you need to cultivate a resilient mind, a peaceful spirit, and lasting happiness. Together, let's learn to be less reactive and truly embrace the power of thoughtful living. Now, let's turn our gaze inward and honestly confront a challenge that, for many of us, has become an almost constant companion: the relentless pull towards reactivity. Think for a moment about your typical day. It begins, perhaps, with the gentle hum of the morning, a quiet cup of coffee, and the promise of a peaceful start. Then, almost imperceptibly, the first ripple appears. Perhaps it's the blaring horn of a car cutting you off in traffic, sending a sudden, unwelcome jolt of irritation through your veins. Or a cryptic email from a colleague that instantly sparks a flicker of anxiety. making your stomach clench with unease. Maybe it's a seemingly innocent comment from a family member during dinner, yet it lands with the unexpected sting of a wasp, leaving you feeling misunderstood, dismissed, or even disrespected. These aren't grand, earth-shattering crises, are they? They are the myriad small pebbles that accumulate in our shoes, the tiny burrs that cling to our clothes as we walk through life's diverse landscapes. Yet, how swiftly, how almost violently, can these seemingly minor disruptions ignite a veritable blaze within us? That careless driver isn't just a driver. In that moment, they become an affront, a personal insult. That cryptic email isn't just words on a screen. It transforms into a harbinger of doom, a sign of impending trouble. That casual comment isn't just an opinion. It's a direct challenge to our worth or our intentions, triggering an immediate defensive posture. And what happens then? The heart begins to race. A familiar tension tightens in our shoulders. A flush might creep up our neck. Words, often sharp and regrettable, spring to our lips before our minds have even had a chance to truly process them. We might find ourselves caught in a cycle of immediate anger, a searing resentment that burns long after the initial trigger has vanished, or a heavy cloak of anxiety that smothers our peace and steals our sleep. The echo of these knee-jerk reactions can reverberate for hours, even days, long after the inciting incident has faded into memory, leaving us exhausted and depleted. Consider the profound cost. Each time we allow ourselves to be swept away by this tide of impulsive reaction, we pay a significant price. Our peace of mind, that precious inner sanctuary we strive so hard to cultivate, begins to erode brick by brick. Our judgment, usually so clear and discerning, becomes clouded by the dense fog of strong emotion, leading us to make hasty decisions we later lament. We might inadvertently damage relationships with those we cherish most, speaking words in the heat of the moment that we can never truly retrieve, leaving lasting scars. We might find ourselves dwelling obsessively on perceived slights, replaying scenarios in our minds like a broken record, fueling a bitter fire that consumes our present joy and future possibilities. The cumulative effect of constant reactivity is truly profound. It can manifest as chronic stress, silently affecting our physical health, contributing to sleepless nights, and even impacting our overall vitality. It can lead to strained relationships, as others learn to walk on eggshells around our unpredictable emotional responses, creating distance where connection once thrived. It can stifle our creativity and problem-solving abilities, as our minds are too preoccupied with immediate emotional defense to truly think clearly, strategically, or with an open heart. We become, in essence, prisoners of external events, our inner state dictated by the whims of the world around us, rather than by our own conscious will and deliberate choice. The insidious nature of this challenge lies in its deceptive simplicity. We often tell ourselves, "It's just how I am," or "anyone would react that way in this situation." But this acceptance, this resignation to our reactive patterns, is precisely what keeps us bound. The true problem is not the traffic jam, the difficult person, the unexpected bad news, or even the inevitable changes that come with time. These are merely external events, indifferent to our feelings, beyond our direct control. The profound challenge, the very heart of the matter, lies in our internal response to these events. It is the crucial gap between the stimulus and our reaction, a gap that for many has become almost imperceptible, a blink and you miss it moment. We have, perhaps unconsciously, surrendered our power in that crucial instant, allowing the world to dictate our inner landscape. The ancient Stoics understood this deeply and profoundly. We cannot control the wind, but we can absolutely adjust our sails. The challenge then is not to eliminate the winds of life, for they will always blow, but to reclaim our mastery over our own sails, to transform our internal response from an automatic, often destructive reflex into a deliberate, thoughtful, and ultimately empowering choice. The Stoic Path to Thoughtful Living, 5 Guiding Principles. Having acknowledged the pervasive challenge of reactivity, we now turn our attention to the heart of the matter. How do we genuinely shift from knee-jerk responses to deliberate, thoughtful action? The Stoics, those ancient masters of self-mastery, didn't offer fleeting remedies or quick fixes. Instead, they bequeathed to us a profound, time-tested framework, a sturdy roadmap for navigating the inner landscape of our minds. This isn't about becoming emotionless automatons. Far from it. It's about cultivating a deep, abiding wisdom that allows us to engage with life fully, with clarity, and with unshakable inner peace. Over the next few moments, we'll explore 5 foundational Stoic principles that serve as our guiding stars. Each one a powerful tool, a profound insight designed to empower you to reclaim control over your reactions, transform your challenges into opportunities for growth, and ultimately live a life truly aligned with your deepest values. These aren't abstract theories, they are practical, actionable wisdom that you can begin to weave into the fabric of your daily existence, starting today. Prepare to discover the profound strength that lies within your own discerning mind. Part 1. The space between disarming the automatic reaction. Imagine, if you will, standing on the edge of a vast, churning river. The current is strong, pulling relentlessly. If you simply jump in without thought, you'll be swept away, carried wherever the river dictates. This, my friends, is often how we approach the rapids of life's daily provocations. A harsh word is spoken, and before we've even registered its full meaning, our emotional dam bursts, and a torrent of anger, defense, or hurt floods our internal landscape. A sudden change in plans derails our carefully laid schedule, and a wave of frustration or anxiety immediately crashes over us, leaving us feeling disoriented and upset. We feel an itch, and we scratch it. We feel an emotion, and we immediately express it, often without considering the long-term ripple effects. This automaticity, this immediate leap from stimulus to reaction, is where we lose our power. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, recognized this critical vulnerability. They didn't deny the initial impression, the sudden spark of irritation, the pang of sadness, the jolt of fear. These are natural, involuntary biological responses. What they emphasized, however, was the crucial, often overlooked space between that initial impression and our subsequent assent, or agreement to it. Think of it not as a vast chasm, but as a hairline crack, a fleeting microsecond. Yet, within that minuscule moment lies the entirety of our freedom. It is in this breath, this pause, this infinitesimally small gap that we are truly human, truly sovereign over ourselves. Epictetus, the former slave who became a profound Stoic teacher, famously declared, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This isn't just a clever saying, it's an invitation to a profound shift in consciousness. To disarm the automatic reaction, we must first become acutely aware of this space. It requires a subtle yet powerful act of self-observation. When that knot of anger begins to form in your stomach, or that surge of defensiveness rises to your throat, or that cold grip of fear tightens around your chest, pause. Don't immediately label it. Don't immediately act on it. Simply notice it. It's like seeing a red light flashing. You don't accelerate through it. You stop. This pause isn't inaction. It's a profound act of deliberate non-reaction. It's giving yourself the precious gift of a moment to breathe, to truly see what's happening both outside of you and within. Consider the practical application. Someone sends a curt email. Instead of firing back an equally sharp reply, take a deep breath. Count to 5. stand up from your desk, walk to the window. In that brief moment, you create space. You allow the initial emotional charge to dissipate just a little. You give your rational mind, your governing principle, as the Stoics called it, a chance to engage. You might then realize the email was simply poorly worded, or that the sender was under stress, or that your initial interpretation was flawed. This small pause prevents a potentially damaging escalation, preserving your peace and the relationship. This practice, this conscious creation of the space between, transforms us from mere puppets of circumstance into deliberate agents of our own lives. It's a muscle that strengthens with every conscious attempt. The first few times it might feel awkward, even forced. You might still react. But each time you try, you chip away at the old, ingrained habit. You're not trying to eliminate the initial impulse, but rather to insert your will, your choice, into the chain of events. Over time, that hairline crack expands into a wider, more comfortable clearing. You'll find yourself less swayed by external pressures, more grounded in your own inner resolve. The world around you may continue to churn, but within you, a profound stillness begins to take root, a stillness born not of apathy, but of conscious, thoughtful control. This is the first crucial step toward reclaiming your serenity and power. It is the moment you stop being a passenger in your own emotional vehicle and take hold of the steering wheel. Part 2, the dichotomy of control, anchoring your peace in what's yours. Imagine holding two baskets. One is overflowing with fruits you've carefully cultivated, your thoughts, your efforts, your character, your choices. The other basket is filled with items you merely stumbled upon, the weather, the opinions of strangers, the stock market's fluctuations, the past. Now, imagine spending all your energy trying to rearrange and control the contents of the second basket. It's a futile, exhausting endeavor, isn't it? Yet, in our daily lives, this is precisely what we often do. We fret over what others think of us, lament past mistakes, worry incessantly about future events beyond our power to influence, or rage against circumstances that are simply outside our grasp. This endless striving to control the uncontrollable is a primary source of our anxiety, frustration, and suffering. This fundamental truth is encapsulated in one of the most liberating and transformative principles of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. It's a simple yet profoundly powerful mental framework that teaches us to distinguish between what is truly within our power and what is not. In essence, there are things we control and there are things we don't. And recognizing this distinction is the bedrock upon which genuine peace of mind is built. What is within our control? Our judgments, our opinions, our desires, our aversions, our actions, and our character. What is not within our control? Our bodies, they will age, they will fall ill. Our reputations, others will think what they think. External events, the economy, natural disasters, other people's behavior, and ultimately, death. The genius of this principle lies in its clarity and its call to action. Why expend precious mental and emotional energy on things we cannot change? It's like trying to bail out the ocean with a teacup. The Stoics would argue that such effort is not only wasted, but actively detrimental to our well-being. When we constantly worry about what others say about us, for example, we are handing them the keys to our inner peace. Their opinion, something entirely outside our control, dictates our emotional state. But if we focus instead on living according to our values, on acting with integrity and kindness, which are within our control, then their judgments become mere background noise. Consider a practical scenario. You're stuck in traffic, running late for an important appointment. The immediate reaction might be a surge of anger, frustration, perhaps even blame directed at other drivers or the city planners. But applying the dichotomy of control allows you to pause. Is the traffic within your control? No. Are the actions of other drivers within your control? No. What is within your control? Your reaction to the traffic, your choice to listen to a podcast, practice mindfulness, or simply accept the situation with calm resignation. By shifting your focus from the uncontrollable external event to your controllable internal response, the frustration begins to dissipate. You don't magically make the traffic disappear, but you certainly change your experience of it. This principle is not an invitation to apathy or resignation. It is an invitation to channel your energy with surgical precision. Instead of battling against the inevitable, we are encouraged to direct our efforts towards what truly matters and what we can genuinely influence: our own mind, our own character, our own choices. This is where true agency lies. It's where we find the strength to act decisively when action is warranted, and the serenity to accept gracefully when acceptance is the only wise path. By anchoring our peace in what is truly ours to command, we build an unshakable inner citadel, a fortress of the mind impervious to the chaotic winds of external circumstance. This understanding, once deeply ingrained, transforms anxiety into tranquility, frustration into patience, and helplessness into profound inner power. It teaches us to release our grip on what cannot be held and to firmly grasp what truly belongs to us: our peace, our virtue, and our freedom. Part 3. Practicing premeditation of adversity. Premeditatio malorum. Rehearsing resilience. Now, this next Stoic practice might, at first glance, seem counterintuitive, perhaps even a touch gloomy. It's called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of adversity. Our modern culture often tells us to think positive, to manifest success, to avoid any thought of difficulty. But the Stoics, those pragmatic realists, understood something profound. What we anticipate, we are better prepared for. Just as a sailor prepares for a storm by checking his rigging and securing his cargo before the winds hit, so too should we mentally prepare for life's inevitable challenges. This isn't about dwelling in negativity or inviting misfortune. It's about building mental resilience, a robust inner armor that prevents us from being blindsided and overwhelmed when difficulties inevitably arise. Think of it as mental rehearsal. An athlete visualizes every move of their performance long before the actual competition. A musician practices a difficult passage hundreds of times. Why? Not to guarantee perfection, but to build muscle memory, to ensure that when the pressure is on, their response is fluid, automatic, and effective. The premeditation of adversity applies this same principle to our emotional and psychological landscape. Before you step into a potentially challenging situation, say a difficult family gathering, a crucial presentation at work, or even just navigating a busy shopping day, take a moment, close your eyes, visualize not just the ideal outcome, but the potential difficulties. What might go wrong? How might others react? What unforeseen obstacles could arise? For instance, if you're preparing for that family gathering, instead of just hoping for a perfect evening, briefly consider, what if Uncle John brings up that sensitive topic? What if Aunt Sally makes a passive-aggressive comment? What if my children argue? Don't linger in these thoughts, but briefly acknowledge them. And then here's the crucial Stoic turn. Mentally rehearse your ideal, Stoic response. If Uncle John brings that up, I will calmly acknowledge his point, perhaps change the subject, and choose not to engage in an argument. If Aunt Sally is difficult, I will remind myself that her behavior reflects on her, not on me, and I will maintain my inner peace. This practice strips potential misfortunes of their power to shock and destabilize us. When something unexpected does happen, it doesn't feel like a catastrophic blow, but rather a foreseen, perhaps even rehearsed scenario. You've already mentally navigated the terrain, so your mind isn't scrambling for a reaction. It's accessing a pre-planned, thoughtful response. Seneca, another titan of Stoic thought, wrote, "He who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." This wisdom saves us from the double suffering, the actual misfortune, and the emotional turmoil caused by being unprepared for it. Furthermore, premeditatio malorum helps us appreciate the good in our lives. When we briefly contemplate losing something we cherish, our health, a loved one, our financial stability, we are often filled with a profound gratitude for their presence in our lives right now. This isn't morbid. It's a powerful exercise in present moment appreciation. It makes us less likely to take things for granted and more likely to cherish each day, each relationship, each moment of peace. So, how do you integrate this? Each morning before your day truly begins, take a few minutes. Consider the day ahead. What potential challenges might you encounter? A difficult email, an unexpected task, a frustrating wait in line. Briefly acknowledge these possibilities, then calmly, internally articulate how you will meet them with a Stoic mindset, with patience, with acceptance of what's uncontrollable, with focus on your own virtuous response. By mentally rehearsing resilience, you don't just hope for strength, you actively build it, brick by painstaking brick, transforming potential panic into quiet confidence and transforming the unexpected into merely another facet of life you are ready to face. This proactive mental preparation is a secret weapon in the Stoic arsenal, preparing you not just to survive, but to truly thrive, even amidst adversity. Part 4, The View from Above, Gaining Cosmic Perspective. In the midst of life's relentless demands and trivial annoyances, it's easy to become utterly consumed by our immediate circumstances. A petty argument with a neighbor feels like the weight of the world. A minor professional setback looms like an insurmountable mountain. Our personal anxieties inflate to monstrous proportions, eclipsing all else. We become so deeply immersed in the minutiae of our daily existence that we lose all sense of proportion, all broader context. We are like ants scurrying on a vast plain, convinced that our tiny hillock is the entire universe. This myopic focus often fuels our reactive tendencies, making every small disruption feel like a personal catastrophe. The Stoics offered a profound antidote to this narrow perspective: the practice of the view from above, also known as cosmic perspective or contemplation of the whole. It's a mental exercise designed to lift us out of our immediate, emotionally charged situation and see it within the grand, sweeping tapestry of existence. Imagine for a moment that you are floating upwards, higher and higher. You see your house shrinking below, then your street, your neighborhood, your entire city. You continue to ascend, watching your state, then your country, then your continent diminish into a mere speck on the vast blue marble of Earth. You keep rising past the clouds, past the atmosphere, until Earth itself is just a tiny, shimmering jewel in the immense, silent expanse of the cosmos. From this immense vantage point, how significant does that traffic jam seem now? That hurtful comment, that financial worry? Suddenly the towering mountain of your immediate problem shrinks into an almost imperceptible bump on a boundless landscape. This isn't about trivializing your feelings or denying the reality of your challenges. It's about putting them into a proper, healthy perspective. It allows the grip of strong emotion to loosen, providing the mental space to respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, frequently employed this technique, often reminding himself of the fleeting nature of human life and the vastness of the universe. He would reflect on how quickly all human affairs, their triumphs and their tragedies, pass into oblivion. This practice cultivates humility and detachment, not in an uncaring way, but in a way that frees us from being overly concerned with things that ultimately hold no cosmic significance. It reminds us that our personal narratives, though deeply important to us, are but minuscule threads in an infinitely larger design. Think of how this applies to a common reactive trigger, another person's irritating behavior. When someone is rude or inconsiderate, our immediate urge is to react with anger or annoyance. But if you take the view from above, you might consider that this person is also a tiny speck on a tiny planet, caught in their own struggles, their own limitations, their own fleeting existence. Their actions, though momentarily impactful, are just a ripple in an ocean of cosmic indifference. This perspective fosters empathy, or at least a healthy emotional distance, allowing you to respond with calm understanding rather than angry condemnation. The view from above doesn't diminish our capacity for action or our commitment to improving our lives. Instead, it purifies our motivation. We act not out of desperation or reactivity, but from a place of clear-eyed purpose, understanding that our efforts, though small in the cosmic scheme, contribute meaningfully to the only realm over which we have true influence, our own character and our immediate sphere of action. This practice is a profound invitation to expand your consciousness, to step beyond the confines of your ego, and to embrace a wider, more tranquil understanding of your place in the universe. It is a powerful antidote to anxiety, fostering a deep sense of calm by reminding us that most of what troubles us is, in the grand scheme of things, simply not that important. From this elevated perspective, our ability to choose a thoughtful, measured response becomes not just possible, but inherently clear. Part 5. The virtue of acceptance, embracing what is. In our relentless pursuit of what we want and our equally fervent avoidance of what we don't, we often find ourselves in a constant state of internal war. We resist difficult realities, fight against uncomfortable feelings, and rail against circumstances that refuse to bend to our will. This resistance, this struggle against what is perhaps the single greatest source of human suffering. When a plan falls apart, our immediate reaction might be bitterness or self-pity. When an illness strikes, our first response can be anger and denial. We expend enormous amounts of energy pushing against the current of reality, only to find ourselves exhausted and defeated. This constant state of rejection of reality fuels our reactivity, because every deviation from our ideal becomes a cause for emotional upheaval. The Stoics, however, presented a radically liberating concept: the virtue of acceptance, also known as amor fati, love of fate. This isn't a passive resignation or a surrender to apathy. On the contrary, it is an active, courageous, and deeply empowering embrace of reality as it unfolds. Precisely as it unfolds. It means understanding that certain things are. The rain is falling, the economy is uncertain, someone you care about made a mistake. These are facts. To resist them is to resist the very fabric of existence. True acceptance doesn't mean you like everything that happens, or that you stop striving for improvement. It means acknowledging what is, without adding the unnecessary layers of emotional judgment, regret, or complaint. It means focusing your energy on responding skillfully to reality, rather than wasting it fighting against its inevitable currents. Consider the metaphor of a skilled martial artist. When an opponent pushes, they don't push back with equal force, creating a collision. Instead, they accept the incoming energy, redirect it, and use it to their advantage. Similarly, when life pushes us with a challenge, acceptance is the art of receiving that push without breaking, without becoming reactive. It allows us to observe the situation with clarity, understand its nature, and then, from a place of calm, decide the most virtuous and effective course of action. Take, for instance, the experience of aging. For many, it's a source of considerable anxiety and resistance. We might fight against every wrinkle, every ache, every decline in physical prowess. This constant battle against an undeniable biological reality fuels frustration and unhappiness. But through the lens of Stoic acceptance, we understand that aging is a natural process, an inevitable part of the human condition. It doesn't mean we neglect our health or abandon our aspirations. It means accepting the changes, appreciating the wisdom and experience gained, and adapting our lives with grace and dignity. This acceptance transforms a source of suffering into a potential source of peace and wisdom. This virtue extends to accepting the actions of others, even when they are unjust or unkind. This doesn't mean condoning their behavior. It means accepting that their actions are beyond your control, and that allowing their misdeeds to poison your own inner state is to give them power over you. By accepting that they acted as they did, you free yourself to focus on your own response, how you will choose to react, how you will protect your own integrity, and how you will move forward. This frees you from the corrosive effects of resentment and the exhausting cycle of blame. Ultimately, the virtue of acceptance is an invitation to live in harmony with the universe, to align our will with what is. It acknowledges that while we have immense power over our internal world, we are but a small part of a vast, interconnected cosmos where many forces are beyond our command. When we truly embrace what is, we release the burden of futile resistance. We create space for tranquility, for thoughtful action, and for a profound gratitude for the present moment, whatever it may hold. It is in this profound acceptance that we discover an unshakable inner peace, allowing us to face any challenge not with reactivity, but with a serene and resilient spirit. The sacred pause, your moment of unrivaled power. We've explored the tumultuous waters of reactivity, witnessed the erosion of our peace, and armed ourselves with the wisdom of Stoic principles. The space between the dichotomy of control, the premeditation of adversity, the cosmic perspective, and the virtue of acceptance. But all this knowledge, all these insights, culminate in one single, profound, and utterly transformative moment. A moment that holds the key to reclaiming your inner sovereignty, to truly living deliberately rather than simply reacting. This moment, my friends, is what I call the sacred pause. Imagine life as a grand, intricate symphony. Every event, every word, every challenge is a note played. For too long, many of us have been like instruments that simply vibrate in immediate, unthinking resonance with every sound. A jarring chord plays and we immediately create dissonance. A gentle melody arises and we might perhaps echo it, but without true intention. The sacred pause is when you, the conductor of your own inner orchestra, step onto the podium, raise your baton, and command stillness. It's that crucial, fleeting instant when the external world delivers a stimulus, a cutting remark, a sudden setback, an unexpected disappointment, and before your ingrained, habitual reaction can seize control, you deliberately insert a breath that is not just air, but conscious awareness, a breath that says, "Stop, I am here and I choose." In that fraction of a second, the universe offers you a profound gift, the gift of choice. For too long, we've operated as if there's no space, no gap between the trigger and our explosion, between the input and our outburst. But the Stoics, with their penetrating insight into the human mind, revealed that this gap always exists. It is the very essence of our freedom, the hallmark of our rationality. It is the sacred space where animal instinct ends and human wisdom begins. Think of it as a mighty river, once flowing unimpeded towards a waterfall of impulsive reaction. The sacred pause is the dam you consciously erect in that stream. It doesn't stop the river from flowing entirely, but it halts its immediate plunge. It creates a reservoir, a pool of calm, where you can assess the depth, the currents, the potential dangers and opportunities. In that reservoir, you can finally ask yourself, what is truly happening here? Is this within my control? What is the wise response rather than the automatic one? What does my highest self, my most virtuous self, call me to do? This isn't about suppressing emotion. If anger arises, you feel it. If sadness emerges, you acknowledge it. The sacred pause isn't about building walls against feeling, but about building awareness of feeling. It's allowing the emotion to ripple through you without allowing it to dictate you. It's like watching a storm from behind a strong pane of glass. You see its fury, you hear its roar, but you remain untouched by its destructive power. So the next time you feel that familiar surge of reaction, the sharp retort on your tongue, the clenching in your gut, the quickening of your breath, the urge to lash out or retreat, remember that precious, powerful pause. It is your ultimate moment of truth. It is where all the philosophy, all the wisdom, all the practice comes alive. In that single, deliberate breath, you are not merely reacting, you are choosing. You are actively shaping your character, honoring your inner peace, and stepping into the truly liberating power of thoughtful living. This pause is your greatest ally, your most potent weapon against the chaos of unexamined responses. It is where you reclaim your mind, your peace, and your freedom. Embrace it, cultivate it, for in that sacred pause, you are truly, irrevocably yourself. Conclusion: the path to enduring tranquility. We have journeyed together through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, delving into the profound distinction between merely reacting to life and consciously choosing to live thoughtfully. We've seen how our knee-jerk responses, while seemingly instinctive, can erode our peace, cloud our judgment, and ultimately diminish our capacity for true happiness. But more importantly, we've discovered that this isn't our unchangeable fate. Today, we've illuminated the path forward. We explored the sacred pause, that invaluable breath of conscious awareness between stimulus and response, where our freedom truly lies. We learned to anchor our peace through the dichotomy of control, liberating ourselves from the futile struggle against what is beyond our power, and empowering us to focus on what truly belongs to us. Our thoughts, our judgments, our actions. We embraced the courageous practice of premeditation of adversity, preparing our minds not to dread misfortune, but to meet it with resilience and calm foresight. We ascended to the view from above, gaining a cosmic perspective that shrinks trivial anxieties and broadens our understanding of life's vast tapestry. And finally, we contemplated the liberating virtue of acceptance, learning to embrace reality as it unfolds, transforming resistance into serenity and struggle into peace. Becoming less reactive and more thoughtful isn't about becoming emotionless automatons devoid of feeling or passion. Far from it. It's about becoming intentional. It's about reclaiming your inherent human capacity to choose your response, rather than being swept away by the currents of external events. It's about understanding that while we can't always dictate the world outside, we are absolute masters of the world within. By embracing these Stoic principles, you cultivate a profound inner resilience, a deep-seated tranquility that no external storm can truly shake. You move from being a ship tossed wildly by the waves to becoming the steady, unwavering lighthouse, guiding your own vessel through any tempest with clarity, purpose, and an unshakable sense of peace. This wisdom is not just for ancient philosophers. It is a practical, empowering blueprint for a richer, more meaningful life available to each of us right here, right now. It is the art of truly living, not just existing. Your next step towards inner mastery. The journey we've embarked on today, from reactivity to thoughtful living, is a continuous one. It's a path of daily practice, of subtle shifts and profound inner growth. The wisdom of Stoicism offers not just a philosophy, but a practical guidebook for navigating life's complexities with grace and resilience. What we've discussed today is merely a glimpse into the vast, empowering insights available to you. I invite you now to continue this vital exploration. Dive deeper into the principles we've touched upon and discover many more transformative ideas that can fortify your mind, calm your spirit, and bring enduring happiness. To keep this wisdom flowing directly to you and to ensure you never miss another step on this path to inner mastery, I urge you to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel right now. By subscribing, you'll join a community dedicated to cultivating strength, peace, and wisdom in a world that often feels chaotic. Turn on notifications so our future videos, crafted to provide tangible value and profound insights, arrive directly to you, empowering your journey every step of the way. Thank you. Thank you for dedicating your valuable time to this exploration, for seeking to cultivate a more thoughtful, resilient self. It is a pursuit of the highest order. May your path ahead be filled with clarity, unwavering peace, and profound happiness as you continue to build your inner citadel, brick by thoughtful brick.
Thank you for watching this video here on the Stoic Philosophy. If you found value in this, I invite you to explore more videos on the channel. There's so much more wisdom to uncover. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.